Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word.
Welcome back to your first day. I would like to remind everyone that your locker is not a place to store non-school items such as Pokemon cards or switches and or feces. This means you, Mr. Chove, the janitor did not like having to clean that up last time, so if you could please refrain from that. I would like to remind everyone that we have a bevy of after-school activities to get you involved and connected to the school. We have such wonderful things as the Weird Owl Club, video game esports, and or cleaning up after Chove Club. So please sign up for one of these. Please see Mr. Kyle after class, who will sign you up. And always, please have a good school year. And there's pizza in the cafeteria today.
You know, I lettered in cleaning up after Chove my senior year in high school.
Did you really? What letter was that?
Big F and U after, yeah.
Oh, big FU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Mine came from the University of Screw You.
Yeah, double major there.
Yeah. Our school colors were black and blue.
Ah,
that's how we did it on the street.
This is for the streets. Okay,
for the streets. You know, the British rapper, the streets. Welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we're two 30 to 40-something-year-olds who talk about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris. This man who's about to introduce himself has stable internet.
Woohoo! I'm Kyle. I have internet. So if you guys would like to be part of the conversation, join the community, we do have a Discord server that you can join. The link is in the show notes down below. Discord's a great little application for everybody to connect. Think back to the yesteryear of Yahoo chat rooms and how normal that was, and it was totally okay to get on when you were in junior high. Nothing weird happened in there. It's like that, but better. And we're grown-ups now, so we have all kinds of categories that you can join in and discuss your favorite nerdy things from movies, video games, anime, Star Trek, I guess, food, Star Wars. We do have Star Wars, all kinds of stuff. So hop in. Check that out. All kinds of cool things. Also, we occasionally stream on Twitch sometimes. Life has really got me hard lately, and I haven't been able to stream like 2 weeks. But find us on Twitch. Chris under yeah, try to spell that.
The Taz in Tasmania. Come to Tasmania.
God, the nostalgia. Chris is Guyver Unit 01, GUYVER UNT 01. Myself, Casey, K_SIG. So check us out when we stream. We try to Fridays and Saturday nights, but you know, life lately. I've been enjoying the great outdoors as it's been nice, and we'll have some stories about that sometime, maybe. But check that out. But what are we talking about today, Chris, if the intro didn't really help, or the title that you see whenever you clicked on the episode?
Today, we are talking about nerdy back-to-school activities and ideas for your little nerdlets, because no one who is under 18 should be listening to us.
Yeah.
So this is aimed at your parents or
guardians.
I guess this could count for college kids too.
Yeah. It's the EGTN back-to-school special.
Dun-dun-dun.
Thank you for being part of this, students.
You nailed that. Did you do the announcements sometimes? Like, you seem like you were the kid that volunteered to do the morning announcements.
We didn't really have a station in the schools I was in that did that.
I feel like you missed out.
I missed my calling.
I
missed my calling as the kid who got. It was what was it? It was South Park, wasn't it? And Bob's Burgers where they started going nuts with the power? Oh, and
Yes.
American Dad. I have the power now
It was. I
Bow
remember the
before me.
Bob's Burgers episode.
with Jeannie Beanie.
And so we're going to talk about like back to school clubs. We're going to kick it off though with Chris's favorite topic, school technology and back to school tech.
Boo.
So as parents, tech has, really infiltrated the school in a good way. I am 100%. I love it. I
Mhm.
support it. As long as it's used correctly. I hate trying to manage it. I'll put it that way. And the children using it. But Chromebooks and iPads are like, they're there.
Dominant.
They're in the schools. A lot of schools are one-to-one now, meaning that there is a device for every kid in the school to be able to use.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I get any of this wrong, I know you'll correct me because Chris has all the experience with this from his prior life. But, with the littles, they use iPads and touchscreens a lot because they don't know how to type. They're like 7. Some of them do. Some of them probably type better than the high school students. But then you have the iPads and then you have Chromebooks. Chromebooks are more predominantly used in, middle school and on up. Not a complete substitute for like textbooks and things like that, but they're there. And the kids being exposed to them and having to use them. And I'm amazed at the amount of students that don't know how to type. I'll just throw that out there. Like,
because they don't teach it anymore.
There's not typing classes anymore. Like I taught myself how to type.
Which I think is idiotic, personally.
Yeah, I probably should have got help. But
not you. I'm talking that they don't teach typing classes.
Yeah, just get you some Mavis Beacon and get after it.
Oh, or Mario teaches typing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, guess I got to go fishing.
Yeah, I would almost 100% not volunteer, but be like, hey, take away one of my classes. I'll teach typing for a year. Like, make it a thing. And I think maybe they do in middle school now. I don't know. But like I would say by like 6th grade, they should be learning how to type. But
Kyle Bacon teaches typing.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Bacon. It's my other name. But, Chromebooks and iPads. So they both have their place.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of schools, and I don't know if you had the experience with this. I probably should have ran this by you first. I don't remember. I know what it is, how it is where I am.
Fun. Surprise me.
And so some schools allow you to bring your own device, BYOD.
BYOD.
I think it's pretty common. I don't think there's many that just disallow it because that's, in my eyes, it can be a positive for the school because that's like one less thing that they have to keep up with. So one less thing that the school itself is sort of responsible for. Put some of that on the students. There is some loss of control there. But there are pros.
There are pros and there's cons too.
So I'll hit the pros because I know you know all the cons for this.
Yeah, I know a lot of the cons.
And so some of the pros are, you get your own device. It goes with you. You bring it in.
You know about it.
You know about it. You know the ins and outs. It doesn't have to be a Chromebook. It can be a laptop. I guess it could be a MacBook. I got a lot of kids with MacBooks, which I don't understand, but whatever.
I don't either.
And I've had a few ask like, well, can we bring a tablet if we have like a Bluetooth keyboard? Could we use that? Like, I don't see why not, as long as it's going to function. And so you have your device, you know how it works. It's yours. You can do more than just school stuff with it. You'll be able to use it at home. If you got a laptop that's capable, you got some gaming capabilities and things there. But, also bring that into the school. You have, you're, more responsible for your own program. It's something that you can take and that you can have, but there are downsides.
Yep.
And so as a parent, you want to weigh both. You want to weigh, especially, if you're a nerdy parent like me, I'm going to look at, value of the product. Like, should I get a Chromebook for the kid? Should I get a laptop for the kid? Do I even need to get them one? Since they're being provided those, because some schools, I can't remember where it is. There's one not too far from here. I think it was you might have been the one that was telling me, or somebody was telling me about it, that once they get into high school, their freshman year, they're issued their own Chromebook. Like at our school, we have the carts where the kids check them out, like class by class. Go get a Chromebook out of the cart, get it on your desk, and use it. This school, and I wish I could remember which one it is, they issue the kids a Chromebook their freshman year. Get a Chromebook, they get a bag, they get a charger, they get all the stuff, and they're responsible for that Chromebook all the way through till senior year. And maybe even be a laptop. We'll just go with Chromebook. And then senior year, whenever they graduate, they get to keep it. It's theirs. That's like the gift from the school, which, 4-year lifespan anyway, they're going to replace it regardless. So like, here, take it. And I like that idea a lot because then the teacher is not responsible for having to keep up with it. If something happens to it, it's on the kid. They're probably not expensive Chromebooks. They may be out $100, $150 if they break it. But they, if that, we'll talk about that here in a minute, that you can get by a whole lot cheaper than you think with a Chromebook. But I like that idea. But then there's cons to bringing your own device. So, Chris, I know you have just a plethora of horror stories of things that could happen.
Cons. Your device may have a virus on it. It may have shit. Kids don't take care of their stuff. They don't think about network security. They don't have to. 99% of their parents don't because they don't care, because they just go to dark websites. Anyway, when I mean dark, I don't mean the screen's black. I mean shady shit sites.
Yeah.
Then they want you, why can't I get on the network? Why won't this work? Well, I just tried our school devices. Cool, it works. That means our stuff's working. That means it's your device. I'm sorry, I can't touch your device. The reason I can't touch your device is because if I do anything or it's already broken, your mom and dad can come back and say, you broke my kid's device. The school owes me a new device now, even though it was broken to begin with.
Yeah.
It could have a virus that could infect the network. Little known facts. Schools have some of the worst security you can get. Why is that? Because they don't get funded for shit.
Yep.
They should be the best,
especially
funded
here
for
where we're at.
Oh yeah, and it's only getting worse.
Yeah, we could do hours on that.
So they should have the best funded network security. Why do they want kids' information? Your and my information sells for about $5 to $20 on the dark web. That's name, phone number, email, social security, address, that kind of shit.
All the stuff to generate an identity or commit identity theft.
Yes, a student's information can range anywhere from $500 to $2,000. Why is this? Students don't have a credit history.
Exactly.
I've had
a clean slate.
In my 15 and a half years in the school system before I switched jobs. You don't know how many kids got their identity stolen. It's bad. So, I mean, as parents, we've got to do our we've got to do our pickle diligence.
Yep.
Or due diligence, as some people call it.
Our dill pickle juice.
Dill
pickle juice. Do your dill pickle juice.
Pickle juice, pickle juice, pickle juice. It's dill time. It's almost Halloween. So that's one aspect. Another aspect, you're letting an unknown device onto your system, onto your network. That network better be isolated. Most school districts don't have the capability to do that. Some small school districts, their IT departments, also their bus driver, also their cafeteria cook, could be their superintendent, could be the gardener, could be the waste management person.
They're making do with what they got.
Yeah, and they don't know what they're doing. They outsource this, and if these companies tell them, hey, no, this is how it's supposed to be. Oh, okay, because you don't know any better.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault.
No.
It's not their fault at all.
One big con I got on my brain right now. I don't know if you guys use it or not, but we've used this program called Go Guardian, which all of our connected devices allows the teacher or whoever to see what's on the screen.
It's device management is what it is for those who don't know.
And so we can, as a teacher, as an educator, you can sit at your desk and you see, like, if all the students are working on Chromebook, you can have a view of what they're doing. So making sure they're staying on task and not doing things they're not supposed to be doing. Like Chris said, there's holes in the network security, and kids find ways. There's ways to bypass filters and stuff all the time. Like, we found ways when we were in school. We found ways on the jobs that we worked to bypass filters so we could, play addictinggames.com and all that stuff.
Human nature.
Yeah. And, and kids are going to do the same thing. They got a computer in front of them. They're going to want to try to find a way to play games or do things they're not supposed to. And so that allows that's at least another line of defense where that the teacher's monitoring. We can say, oh, they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing, which, as a teacher, without going into any detail because of FERPA stuff, I have caught students doing things that they're not supposed to do, and we can, they can screenshot it, save it, turn it in, let admin take care of it. And so, but with a foreign device, something that comes outside of the school,
Thank you very much.
a lot of times that doesn't work.
Nope.
You can't monitor a device that's not that doesn't have
Not
an ID to the
managed.
school, not managed. So that's where there's some issues from the teacher side. So if you as a parent thinking like, hey, I want little Jimmy to bring his own laptop to school, just understand that, that does put a little bit more of a burden on the parent or on the teacher, and it puts a lot more burden on you as a parent to making sure that they are not doing anything they're not supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And so we're going to highly recommend that you Microsoft Family or something that allows you to monitor what your kid is doing, because they'll find out, they'll do things, their friends will figure out, hey, Jimmy has an unmanaged device. We can do whatever we want to do on it. We're going to talk Jimmy into looking stuff up because he can, or he can attempt to. And then that's on Jimmy because that's on his device. If somebody actually sees it or, breaches happen or whatever, he lets his friends borrow it. So there's some downside to that. Even with all the potential goods upside.
Another downside, again, cybersecurity. Kid could have a keylogger on there.
Yeah.
Kids want to get all the stuff for free because their parents won't buy it for them or can't. And there could, you could infect a network.
Yeah.
Another con, I was telling Kyle about this before we started. Hold on. There was an article that came out today talking about Chromebooks, but of course my subscription lapsed to Apple News.
Of course, okay. This didn't even click with me. This was published by Apple, but go ahead.
So yeah, no, it's an article it's not by Apple, but it's from Apple News.
Yeah,
they pull from everywhere. I think it was from Bloomberg. But it said that where once Chromebooks were the affordable option, they're not so much anymore. They've gone up in price. The cost of everything has gone up in price. They're still the cheapest thing you can get out there.
Yeah.
But where Chrome, Google used to be free for schools, now they charge you per student.
So when you're talking about the cost, you're not talking about, because you can get the devices cheap, but you're talking about like enterprise level, and then the support, and then the usage of the things like Google Classroom and stuff like that.
Right. So you've got cost as an association now. I've heard that some school districts pass on that cost to the parents now.
Ooh.
Because they're not getting funded, so you got to get it somewhere to get your kids to learn. That's a very, very rare case. I've only read like 2 studies on that.
So,
but you might see that a little bit more. iPads are great for the littles because they don't, like I was saying, they don't know how to log in. They don't know how to do any of this stuff. You can teach them.
Yeah.
But then you also need to teach them life skills too.
Yeah.
So it's technology versus real life.
But iPads are just so expensive. Your 7-year-old does not need an iPad for school. Get them a cheap on tablet that works, and because I've heard so many, I hear the horror stories all the time from other parents stuff, man. A little kid, my kid broke their iPad. And like, how old's your kid? 5.
Yep.
Well, kind of, when it was like one of the 10 or 12 inch, like the big iPads, like you were spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Why? I will admit, for both the girls, we've gotten them iPads since they were young, but it's the entry level, the cheap ones.
You're not going to buy top end stuff.
Relatively cheap, no.
And you're going to get the case, but you understand tech and you understand how to monitor that stuff, and like a lot of parents don't, and going on to cost. So we're talking about BYOD, and they're like, well, we'll just buy our kids their own Chromebook, and you'll see parents spend hundreds of dollars on a Chromebook. I mean, $200, $300, $400. The most expensive Chromebook I found I'm looking at Walmart right now, because I figure that's probably our best thing for Chromebooks. So the most expensive Chromebook that Walmart sells is $550. Very
Which is
nice.
a small computer at this point.
Yeah, when you're looking at a Core i3, 4 gigs RAM, 128 gig hard drive, full HD screen. So that one may be that's like a 2560 by 1600 resolution. So that's nice. Your kid doesn't need that.
No.
If you're getting a Chromebook, you can get a Chromebook that will do exactly what they need to do in class for $50 from Walmart. Cheaper than a tablet.
Here's another two big.
This is coming from the personal finance teacher. Okay, like make
listen
smart
to
money
him.
decisions. Yeah, I get this. This comes out in me.
Two other big things. You find me a business that's running Chromebooks to run their organization. We're doing the kids a disservice if we're only teaching them how to use Chrome. Here's the other thing. Chrome doesn't do shit. It does internet.
No, you can get by
do a little bit more.
You can get by with Google Sheets and that type of stuff. You can get really basic stuff done. I'll make an argument there.
That kind of stuff, the Google stuff.
Oh, okay, but you're talking about just like Chrome OS.
Chrome OS doesn't do shit.
No.
You find me an organization that runs pure Chromebooks.
Google
uses Windows.
Yeah.
So that's why we got to teach them. We have to teach them stuff. And another big con that I saw on my way out of the education realm, and I'm seeing a lot more of just talking to my friends who are in the education field still, they're getting away from using the technology every day. I mean, they're using it when they need to.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are going back to traditional manners just because, well, it's because a lot of them don't embrace it, the technology. When I mean they don't embrace, they're not trained on it either. We should be training these teachers more. And, the old school teachers, they're not, let's face it, there's going to be rarities, but they're not going to learn this new shit.
No.
Like a teacher's been in the classroom for 50 years. They're not going to adopt a Chromebook.
No, you seem struggle with the smart boards and stuff. Like all of our smart boards are like Android based and or some weird version of Android. And you see some struggle there. Those are great tools for people like us that grew up with the tech and know how to use it and try to pass that on to the kids. But I still can't get over those high dollar Chromebooks. Like if you're going to spend $500 on a Chromebook for little Jimmy, buy little Jimmy a laptop. Don't buy him a $500 Chromebook. Get him a Windows device because that's going to be more useful in the long run there. So that's our tech spiel. But let's talk about some of the fun stuff. So school's coming up. How do we get our kids involved? How do we get them to do things? And you always hear extracurricular activities. Get the kids involved in something. This was the last bullet point I have on the notes, but I'll hit it now. Just get them involved in whatever. Students that are involved and have parents that are involved in doing those, at least pushing them and helping them along with those extracurricular activities, they perform better in school. Especially if it's some type of activity that has eligibility requirements where they have to make the grades and they cannot have disciplinary issues. If they're involved in something that they really enjoy that has those criteria, they're going to perform better in school because they want to make the grades, because they want to participate, and they're going to be better behaved because they don't want to get in trouble to where they cannot participate. And so even if you're, we always think of the traditional thing is sports. Get the kids in sports, which is great. Not knocking it at all. I played sports growing up. Loved it. My kids don't. I got one that does color guard. So there's some athletic stuff there, but they don't have to be involved in sports. And my personal theory, so take that for feelings on it and take that for whatever it is get the kid involved in something that they're interested in. If they don't like football, don't make them play football because they're not going to enjoy it. There's going to be some resentment there. If they start it, make sure they finish it, but don't force them into something that they're not going to like, because you're going to get a better return on your time. And that child is going to have a better time if they're involved in something that they're interested in. So sports can be nerdy. I mean, baseball is a game of statistics, and there's all kind. I mean, what was that? Was it Moneyball? Was that the name of the movie? Like, it's all about statistics. Like you could.
Yeah, Moneyball. Yeah, the baseball movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Baseball, there's so much stat stuff there. I think so. But we're going to talk about some of the things that are I mean, this is every man's guide to nerdom. We like nerdy stuff. We like
Yep.
geeky stuff. This is stuff that makes us excited. And there's some clubs and things that you wouldn't traditionally think of them being there, but there are things that your nerdy kid can get involved in these what are traditionally considered not nerdy clubs.
And I will tell you, as someone who was a big advocate in college for clubs, people who find a club feel more well, not everyone, but 99% feel more connected to the place they're at, the school, the university, wherever it is. They're more apt to staying. They're apt to being better, doing better.
They're going to finish
because they have a connection. Yeah.
And networking. Just, I tell my kids all the time, get something to get involved in. Find a club that's going to like have conferences and things that you can go to where you're going to network with other people because you never know where that's going to pay off. Like Chris and I, we both went to the same college. He was going out as I was coming in. But we were both super involved in a lot, like whatever we could do. We were, both in the Greek system. We were both in fraternities, separate fraternities, which are, I hear the groans in the audience right now. The Greek system where we went was not, it was different. I'll just put it that way. It was not like the movies and all that. It was very,
some was the same as the movies.
There was some things, but like,
we're not going to sugarcoat it.
But you think of like the big fraternity house and the super preppiness and all that stuff. It was not, at least not my guys. And I know not your guys either.
No.
It was just, we were just a bunch of dudes that like to hang out, and we did community service and we drank beer and we had a good time. That was really like, it wasn't
more beer,
like a class system. Yeah, it was cool. But then, there was tons of clubs and stuff on campus, but like for high school, like, is AV club still a thing? Because that's when I think nerdy stuff, that's the stereotypical, I'm an AV club. I wish it was, because I always wanted to do AV club stuff in high school, because I remember seeing
it's evolved.
It's evolved. I think we can look at this here. Like our obvious one is esports, because I coach, Chris used to coach, and still involved in the scene. I think that's part of the evolution of the AV club a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that.
I would say so.
That's a very accurate.
And I get and I know you did too. I get so many questions about it. Yep. And I was really worried because I'm in small town. I was really worried that there's going to be a stigma around it that, kids are playing video games in school. I have not received one negative comment from a parent or anybody this entire time. Going on a year.
Nice.
I'm really surprised because we're really small town, rural Oklahoma. I mean, it's coming. Somebody's going to say something. But
it's coming. Yeah, definitely.
Just the amount. So the kids are excited. I've got parents ask me like, "Hey," and they got 8th graders and 7th graders. Like, and they kind of like when they get high school. I'm just doing high school right now. I'm only one guy. But the turnout is good. The kids are involved. And I treat it like the physical sports. I guess is the best traditional sports. Best way
sports balls.
Sports balls. We have we had our kickoff meeting. I tell them the same thing. Eligibility requirements are still the same. Just like if you're playing baseball, if you're playing football, softball, whatever, those are the same. Disciplinary issues. If I hear of anything, same thing.
It's a team.
We're playing as a team. But it's what's so cool about it, for me anyway, it's co-ed. So I've got guys and girls both in there playing together, mixed teams.
Which is kind of weird because that's what every school strives for. But in esports, that's kind of rare.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see. I wouldn't know. I mean, it's not a 50-50 split. I think I've got roughly 20 to 25 kids across all the games. And
I don't think we had any girls last year.
I've got at least 5.
Two.
I got at least 5 right now.
I
got a pretty salty Fortnite girl. Yeah, I got a
salty.
Really, she's good. She's good. So, so we got that, and so that's cool because then my kids are mostly like band kids, and that's something I didn't even put on the list was band and choir and stuff. Most of mine are band kids, which is amazing. Like I love my band kids because they are hilarious. They're weird and they're quirky and they're nerdy just like us, and they kind of have their own language.
And they're band kids.
And they're band kids, like, and they embrace that. Like they know, like there's that band kid stigma, and our band kids just embrace it. Like, yeah, that's us, and
which is awesome to hear.
I love it. And so they'll be like, I sent you the video. I had some of my kids practicing Rocket League, and one of my band kids was in there who was not playing Rocket League, but he had his guitar and he was just standing behind the kid playing his guitar, playing like Mario music on the guitar behind him the whole time, just antagonizing him, which I loved it. But I mean, esports, I it's kind of like the new chess club almost. Like, and chess is still a thing. Like chess is now
Chess has come back.
Chess has come back. Chess is becoming popular. I got so many kids wanting to play chess, and I think it's being added to the league either this year or in the spring. And so, competitive chess through the school at least on our campus, is going to run through the esports program. And so, if we have any kids that actually want to do that, that's really good because, that's a said a word beep there. That's a way for them to kind of make a name for themselves. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought I had something to add on, but you said it really good. There's nothing.
I went on a thing there. I got excited.
You did good. I'm like, yeah. Let me write on this, and then I'm like, no, he hit that. No, he hit that. I'm good.
All right, we'll keep that then. Kind of along the same lines. So robotics.
Robotics is kind of the newest, not newest. Esports is more new, but robotics has gotten big in the past 10 years.
Yeah, it's big at our school. There's different divisions, age groups and things that they can get involved in, but robotics is really starting to take off. I think it's cool because I would love to be involved in it. My plate is overflowing right now. I got to get a second plate and a take-home bag to really take care of all this stuff.
You need one of those cafeteria plates.
I do, like sectioned off, like, hey, here's where this goes. But like robotics, so you got your hands-on kids that like to build stuff. They can participate in that. If you have a really tactile child that loves to do things with their hands, and that's how they learn. Robotics is great for that. Coding is a huge part of it because you have to be able to program. Like that's the competition. I've never watched. I know you were involved with some at one time, I think. So I can let you speak on it more than I probably would be able to. But that's part of the competition, obstacle courses and things. And like, I wish there was a high school robot fighting league, though. I would drop something to be a part of that.
Oh, I think it would be awesome. I would volunteer. I would drive to your town to go help.
I'm gonna try to pitch it for next year. Like, can we get robot fighting league? And if they're like, no, it's like, all right, we're starting an underground scene then. Like, I know some places we can fight them.
Most of my involvement was because my roommate in the tech room was the robotics teacher. So she'd always ask me to help, and mine would be helping get the computers running, and then she'd have me help set up the obstacle courses sometimes. And she's like, "Hey, what about this and this and this?" I'm like, "I don't know shit about programming. Programming's not my thing."
Same. But I wish I knew more. I want to learn more, but
programming just bores me. I think it takes a special kind of person for programming. And I don't mean that in a bad way or negative way. But you just have to have a certain personality type for that. And that personality type is you don't talk to girls or guys or
anybody,
go out of your house or know what sunlight looks like. Yeah, programmers, I'm calling you out. You're weird. But I would, I picked up a couple things and I got to help them a bit. And it was a lot of fun. It's just really cool seeing these kids get this sense of achievement. But yeah, no, I went and got this. I programmed this robot to pick up all these ping pong balls, put them in put them back over here, and they go straight back to the Tijuana and Hooker. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. I just texted Kyle, I'll be right back. Keep going. I'm stupid because I may or may not have had 4 glasses of tea before we did this.
Oh, I could take a pee-pee break. That's fine.
Yeah. It's a pee-pee break. So keep going, Kyle.
We got robotics. The next one and this was big for me back in the day when I was in school, is academic team, quiz bowl stuff. That is still a thing. And that was the nerdy club when I was in school, which I went to a very small high school. Everybody did everything. That's just, if you're involved, you did everything. Didn't matter what it was. But our academic team was pretty good. You don't have to be the quote unquote smart kid to be good at it. You just have to know random trivia. And so you have kids that are always like spouting off random facts. They like to watch Jeopardy. If they're competitive with their like know-it-all knowledge of stuff that nobody cares about, or the stuff that everybody cares about, put them in that. Academic team is a great social activity because they're going to be there with other kids that are interested in that same type of thing. They get some of the structure from practices. I know our school, they practice 2 to 3 times a week. And it's just fun. Like the practices are always fun. It can become super competitive, which is good for some kids. Um, when we were in school, when I was in school, I know we went to state like 3 times for it. And so the competition scene is like big. And so if you've got a kid, like you're just trying to find something to put your kid in, and if that clicks a thing, look at the academic team. Um, Something else that we've got going, which is pretty interesting. This is just our school in particular. And I think it's starting to catch on a few more. And they're going to try to piggyback this, I think, off the esports. Is not a competitive club. This is just more of a interests type club. There's talk of a tabletop / card / board game club going in at the school that I'm at. That's going to coincide with like our esports practices and things, which is great because we got so many kids that we got our D&D kids, we got our Magic kids, we got our Yu-Gi-Oh kids, like all these kids that like love this stuff, and they grew up playing it. And, they had time back, whenever like on recess and stuff when they were younger to do it, but now they don't have a space to do that anymore. And you'll see them setting up games and stuff if they have downtime in class and playing some, but this is going to give them an actual time to do this. And this isn't competitive. They're not really going to gain anything like scholarship wise and stuff from this, but it's just a good social activity for them. An after school club that they can join, that they can be a part of, that really barrier to entry is low. They can just show up and not have anything and they can play with the other kids. And so this club that's coming up is going to be pretty cool, I think, for our school if they get it okayed. And I think it's a thing that's catching on at a bunch of other schools.
You talking D&D club?
Well, D&D / Magic /
Board games.
Board games. They're working on designating a whole section of the library where all the big tables are after school to let them use that a couple times a week so they can meet and play. And so that's going to cross over with my esports kids.
Which is
so
awesome.
when they're not playing, or if they want to show up to practice, and it's not because we do like scheduled game nights to practice, like tonight's Overwatch and tomorrow's going to be Siege and stuff like that. If I have extra computers, then come in, they can play on, work on their game as long as there's space available. Right. And if there's not, this will give them something else to do. It's not tied to esports at all. It's just going to coincide at the same time and space. And so those kids are really going to carry over. Yeah. And so I'm hoping this is going to go really well. One of our teachers or staff members that's doing it graduated a few years ago. He's very young. He just got into education, and I mean, he's played Magic and stuff with these kids before, personally, before he got into the school system. So they know him, they're comfortable with him, and these groups are just going to naturally form anyway. And so this is going to give them just a cool space to do it.
It's just cool.
It's just easier for them to meet up. Yeah.
It's just really cool.
Well, the other things we have going, I think every school has this in some shape or form, or nearly some shape or form, is broadcasting. I love that we have a broadcasting program at our school. All the events, anything that's shown, usually they do it on Facebook Live, or through the school's Facebook page. So if there's a game going, basketball, football, or whatever, there's a group of kids that broadcast the game. And so they run the cameras, they run the audio, they do all that stuff. I'm going to try to steal some of them for whenever, if we can live stream some of our esports stuff. And so this gives them, anybody that's interested in broadcasting is such a cool thing. It's actually offered as a class at our school and they get credit for doing extra stuff. So
it was too at the other school I was at.
Yeah. So I like that a lot. We talked about how sports can be nerdy. So we've hit that. There's a couple of traditional clubs that I want to talk about, and people don't normally think of this. There's some business clubs. There's DECA, which really doesn't stand for anything. It's just DECA. It's a business club, and BPA, Business Professionals of America. Both of those clubs, if you have a business-minded student, there's a lot of, and they're a little nerdy. There's a lot of cool nerdy things that they can do out of that, from presentations to like any of this stuff is putting things together. There's some public speaking and things involved, and there's a lot of analysis and statistical things that they'll do with that. But the big one, especially here in Oklahoma, is FFA, which used to be Future Farmers of America. Is just FFA now. They took the abbreviation part out of it. I've had people like, how can that be nerdy? How can you be in ag education or doing something with ag education, agricultural education, and it be nerdy? When I was in high school, we had an ag comm class, ag communications. We did all the videos. We did all the slideshows. We did all the technical stuff that has to go with, because ag is super tech focused. If you didn't know this, a lot of people don't realize this. Your big corporate farms, your large farms, big crop farms, so much technology there is crazy. It's the amount, just GPS and algorithms and things that they use to optimize all these crops and fields and routes with their tractors and all this stuff. Like, the amount of tech that's in a new tractor is crazy. Like, it puts Tesla cars to shame how much tech is in these tractors. And so there's a lot of tech nerdy stuff that goes along with ag education. So if you're at a very rural school and there's not a whole lot of options, but there is an FFA club, talk with that advisor. There may be some stuff for your nerdy kid to be involved in with ag, and they do so many trips, and there's just opportunities to go do lots of really cool things outside of the school.
Which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We need more farmers.
We do. We
really do.
Farmers are our future.
FarmersOnly.com.
You don't have to be
only at FarmersOnly.com. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Chove. Yeah. So broadcasting. Broadcasting, sports.
We did DECA, we did BPA,
FFA. Debate.
Was that your? Did you do debate?
I did debate.
Okay, I'm leaving this one.
But
for
mine
you
wasn't. Mine wasn't an after-school club.
You just argued with everybody.
Yeah, I deserve an A. It's like, you haven't been here. You don't even go to this school.
Listen to my 12-point plan.
This is my 12-point plan on why you should go to prom with me.
Slide B has music and everything.
You know that's not a real person. That's a cardboard cutout of Princess Leia, right?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. This is me.
You're thinking too much into this.
Yeah. Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Debate. So there's speech debate. Debate kind of goes along with like polyprose and competitive speech.
Yeah. Oh God, competitive speech. I remember doing that.
Competitive speech and debate are usually taught by the same person. And it's all about persuasion. Like, both of them, why you should win. Debate was great. Like, there's two different sides to debate. There is policy and I'm trying to remember the other one. It's so you either debate with a partner or by yourself. And I can't remember what the other one was called off the top of my head. Because it's
so
been
you were a solo.
years.
You're a solo master debater, right?
No, that's
with
currently.
yourself. Okay.
I used to always have a partner.
Okay, I got you.
And then they found out how nerdy I was, and it became a solo thing.
This gets messy at that point.
It was. I'm like a red Solo cup because it was so red by the end. When you're by yourself.
Woo!
There's lines that show how done I am.
No.
Shows how done I am.
No. That's 3 ounces. So
I'm a real boy. So yeah, no, debate was a lot of fun because you got to go off to camps and there would be you'd have to there's different styles of debate. I was tabula rasa, which means anything goes. And you would do just about anything to win.
That competitive edge.
Yeah, I pulled out an argument one time that how they said gravity doesn't exist in the past, and I proved it by jumping off of a table. Don't ask me how I proved it. I don't remember the damn argument. I just remember I won the argument by jumping off of a table.
Shortest debate ever. Gravity doesn't exist. Wait a second. Thunk.
And it's like, hey, why'd that idiot roll his ankle?
I'm noticing a trend here of you falling off of things a lot in school activities.
Or pushed off of things,
or into things.
or into things, or locked into things, or stuffed into things.
You're like the David Blaine.
I am.
Magic. Better than Chris Angel.
Hey, you're blowing my mind. Come see my room.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
No, no. But yeah, no, debate's a lot of fun. A lot of guys that I know that were in the debate class went on to be like politicians, something to do with oratory, like business leaders, because they could argue their way out of anything, salespeople,
Yep.
Lawyers, judges. It's a big path. I would tell you, if your kid argues a lot with you, have them give debate a shot. And that's not being funny or a joke. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah. Give them a good outlet.
Yeah. Give them a great outlet. It's a positive way on a negative thing. Positive way to do it. It's just a lot of fun.
I agree. I'm getting a little shot of our flow here.
Gotcha.
Beep.
There's another thing that what a lot of people don't realize can lead to a path, and after not even a club, but like your trainers for athletics.
Yes.
You could technically call those clubs.
Mhm.
They want to do them as careers, but they have to put in these after school work for it. So I guess you could argue that that's an after school club.
Yeah,
almost.
trainers and managers. I had an esports manager last year. I need to get one for this year too to help with stuff. It was one of my aides for class. Like, she didn't want to play, but she wanted to like help. I'm like, okay, well, you can help manage the club then, and wish we didn't have or manage the teams. Didn't have as much going on, but it was just something. So. Yeah, so we've listed all these things. We have all this stuff, like all these ideas and things. Well, what if little Jimmy's interested in this, but my school doesn't offer it? Guess what you can do? You can help start one.
Create your own.
Create your own. Go talk to the school. Like, hey, I'm willing to be a parent sponsor for whatever this after school club is. And it doesn't even have to be tied to the school. I mean, we got a lot of clubs that are promoted at the school, but not promoted by the school.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And
like anime club,
club
never going to be promoted by the school.
Well, and you see a lot of this just because of legal and political reasons. And I'll just use this as an example. There's one like student-led ministries club, which the school cannot promote, right? Because legal issues, but the kid can.
And you might be able to soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so it's not affiliated with the school or anything like that. The kid, it's a couple of kids. They run the whole thing. They do have. I think there's a teacher that's like an unofficial sponsor that helps out with it, but it's not affiliated with the school technically in any way at all. It just gives these kids space. So you can take that model and apply that to anything, really.
Right.
If there's something that you're interested in, your kids are interested in working together on. If it's not offered at the school, make it happen.
Make it happen.
Be the solution. Don't just be Karen in the drop-off line.
Be the change. And stuff.
Be the change and stuff.
And stuff.
So yeah, just get involved. Get the kids involved. Have them do something other than just going to class and coming home.
Get connected.
For their mental health, it's great. I mean, we're still reeling. And I know people get tired of hearing it. We are still reeling hard from COVID times because these kids are stunted socially right now. They had, a year and a half to 2 years, some of them longer, some of them less, but where they were deprived of social interaction at a very important time in their development. And you see that in the classroom a lot. I mean, high school kids are weird anyway. They know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. But this just kind of amplified things that make things more awkward, more mental health issues, more,
absolutely,
issues with like anxiety and just crowds and being around people and stuff again. They're having to readjust to that when they never got the chance to adjust to it in the first place, and they're behind on that. And I think we're still a few years out from the middle schoolers that hit that are coming into high school. They're hurting from that. The younger ones, they're going to be, I think, 2 or 3 years out, we're going to be back on course with that again.
Yeah, I agree.
But they need something other than just going to school and coming home, and help them find that something. Encourage them, even if it's something that you're not interested in as a parent. That doesn't matter, because it's
Be
not about you.
supportive.
Be supportive. It's about what the kid wants to do.
Mhm.
And like I said earlier, like I would have loved for like my little guy. He's built to be a friggin' lineman because he's a little tank. He just doesn't like football. And
He doesn't
I'm
like
not
to hurt people.
No, he's freakishly strong and just doesn't know it. But he's interested in music. He's like, hey, I want to play the flute. I'm like, cool. We'll get you going with band when the time comes. And that his combo is like, I want to lift heavy things and I want to play music. I go, cool. Powerlifting and the flute. We'll make that happen. That's the combo we're going with right now.
Have him join the Happy Hands Club. Or
Yeah,
Sparkle Motion.
Yeah.
Or Sparkle Motion.
Or not.
But yeah, just get involved.
Interpretive
Have your
dance,
kids
something.
Get involved. Yeah. Diarrhea flows like a river. Oh, Chris has to go to the bathroom again. Okay.
Mhm. For you guys that are just listening, you're missing out on so much.
Yep. Interpretive dance by
Which
Chris and
reminds
Kyle.
me, you should be following us on YouTube or whatever it is, on Spotify or whatever you're listening to. Make sure you like and follow and subscribe. It's free. It helps
Please
us.
do.
Mhm.
So, I want to take this minute to, it's not airing out anything, but we know one of our most loyal listeners, one of our best friends, is going through a hard time right now, Banner. So we just want to let you know that we support you, and we appreciate the support you've given us through these years.
Mhm.
And the whole community is here for you.
Gotcha, buddy.
We just want you to know that, man. We love you.
Mhm.
Like I said, not airing out anything, just letting you know we love all of you guys. We
Yeah.
love all the support you've given us. So
Yeah,
we would say the same thing. If any of you came up to us and said, hey man, I'm having a really hard time, we would say the same thing.
Yep. We got y'all's backs.
We do. So just like you got ours.
We appreciate all the support, guys. We really do.
So with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And wherever you guys are, have a great morning, evening, nighttime, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And please, please be good to each other.
See ya. Stay
See ya.
fresh, cheese bags.
Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd culture rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made up word.